Hi there, and welcome back to another episode of Chat EbT. I'm your host, Mohamed Ebrahim Tayob. Now, when I started this podcast, in all honesty, my greatest hope was one word: inspire. Today's episode is not just another tech success story. It's an episode of two young South African men who refused to let poverty, circumstances, and even homelessness get in the way of their success. Against all odds, they created Nova, an educational app that's changing the lives of learners across the country. This is a story of hard work, dedication, and drive. Honestly, if you've ever felt like you want to give up or things were just not going your way, today's episode is for you. Please help me in welcoming to the podcast the creators and founders of the Nova app, Marvel and Mahlugelu.
Oh.
Morning, gents.
Morning, eh?
Morning.
I was about to say, this is still morning, but yeah, it is.
So, yeah, first and foremost, I can't tell you how excited I am to have you both on the podcast today. I came across, actually, I lied, my wife came across you guys' story.
Oh.
And she ran to me that day and she said, this is why you created the podcast.
Yeah.
You need to get these guys on. And it's been a couple of months. I've been stalking you guys on social media, but we're finally here. So first and foremost, thank you so much for joining us today. What was the inspiration behind it? What was, when did it happen? Tell us a little bit about that spark.
I think Nova was more of a journey to us. It did not just come as it did not just come as an idea to say, oh my God, here's an opportunity. This is a very great idea. I think it was something that we've actually lived to. I grew up in Gumbani village and I went to Katisa High School. In grade 8 and 9, I was not doing very great. I was failing a lot. And when I reached grade 10, my friends and I would just say, hey, I think I'm afraid to fail. So let's actually start studying. And my high school principal, who's now late, saw us one day. We were just working very hard. We used to start studying from 2 o'clock, sometimes until midnight at school. So one day he just saw us and he was like, I think these guys are working very hard. And he just took us under his wing and he did something which is very incredible. Now, I want you to understand that the environment that we're coming from is not actually we don't have a lot of equipment or materials, right? So it's just a school with educators. So he created this special environment for me and my friends. And on term 1, on grade 10, I remember I got 6% on math. And by the end of the year, I was already getting 100.
Oh, wow.
And I realized that it was not that I was very smart. It was the environment that my high school principal, just gave me. He used to call me to his office and he say, hey, I saw some results from learners in Cape Town. They got 100. Why can't you do that? It's just change your mindset. It was not telling me to study harder, just try to change my mindset. And later on, when we're actually creating Nova, the most inspiring thing that we try to do was don't just create an app, create an environment. Even if a person is on a very toxic atmosphere, if they actually get into our platform, it has to be an environment that actually inspires change. It has to shift how you think. It has to shift your views. So it wasn't just creating features and, oh my God, you are having all these resources. It was just trying to build an environment that my high school principal, in a way, kind of built for us.
So, a lot of people have these ideas, right? I know when I'm talking to my buddies, we have now and again just ideas that we're like, oh, we need to try this, we need to try that, right? So obviously, ideas, you had this great idea, right? At what point did you go, okay, you know what? We're going to pull the trigger and we're going to make this app?
Thank you. I always had the passion, as Marvel said, to code. So the passion was I started way back when I was very young. So I just get to be so in love with it when time was going on and on.
Yeah.
So I think the passion for coding was always here within myself. And you are given the opportunity to do it. You will do it, with all of yourself. I think I had a passion for that, and I was so excited to be learning how to code. And I was finding it exciting because let me just share a little bit of the story. That's why I told Marvel to say, I'm going to quit my job and I'm going to learn how to code. I think if you don't have passion to do that, you can't do it. And
No,
you
I
don't
can
have the
imagine.
excitement to
Yeah.
do that, you can't do it, yes.
No, that's and you know it's something that we speak a lot about on this podcast is that there is that you sort of have to take that leap,
Yes.
eventually, and it comes at a great sacrifice. I think a lot of people, will hear the story and say, oh yeah, he coded this app and he learned to code this app and but they don't hear that story. I had to leave that safety net of a job
Yes.
because I needed to do it.
Yeah.
I think that's a big part that we hardly ever see that side of the coin.
Like, I actually think most people know that if you want to do something, you have to sacrifice until the sacrifice has to be done.
Exactly. Yes.
Like, and then you just don't do it because it's actually not a very easy thing to do. Like I remember earlier this year when we actually I have to go back to UCT and I called this guy. He was like, okay, if we actually want to make this happen, we have to fully dedicate ourselves into doing this. And I now find myself not being in school, and you lose all those privileges, of being a student. And now I'm at UCT, because I'm no longer a student. Now I don't have a place to stay, right? I can't stay on a rest anymore, right? And at that time, Nova was so expensive to maintain because we're having a lot of users that were downloading the app, and I was spending crazy amount of money on storage. And even if I wanted to get an apartment, I couldn't afford it. It was either I choose an apartment or you choose to pay storage for Nova. So it was a thing of do you want to be safe and stay in Cape Town? Yes. But if you want to do that, then the platform has to die. So it means that you have to choose to just
Give up.
Yeah. You just have to say, okay, we just have to pay the platform. And on that time, I just want to speak about sacrifice. It was either I take the decision of saying that, okay, I'm just gonna call back home and say I'm coming back. But I knew that if I go back home, I'm just gonna relax. I'm gonna be, I'm going to be so angry, and I don't think I'm going to have that fire. So I knew that if I'm in this situation where I don't feel comfortable, I'm just going to wake up and want to make it happen. And just like that, I just found myself not having a place to stay. I have to stay at UCT upper campus on this building called Crisani, sleeping on a lecture hall. It was a very terrifying experience, right? Because especially when you realize that, we're not even running out of money to buy food. I remember having to stay maybe for a week, close to 2 weeks, without having to take a bath because I have no idea where I'm going to take a bath until I realized that I could just open a gym membership and shower on Zone Fitness. And I would actually call this guy and say, hey, I have no money to buy food. And we were always laughing about it. And he said, dude, I have no electricity, right? And because that's how bad it was. Not that we did not have money to do those things, but all the money that we had just had to go to the platform.
What sort of mindset did you have to have or learn to have to push through that obstacle and get through the fact that, I'm sure at some point there was okay, this is not working, let's give up, What did you do to push through that?
I think your life experiences actually shapes you to become a certain person that has a certain mindset. When we actually look at the challenges that we've actually faced when we were building Nova, that was not the first challenges that we have to face. Just to speak on his behalf, he his mother passed away when he was 8 years old, and right after the funeral, his father just stopped talking to him, and he was left with his younger brother. Now he has to take care of his younger brother. And family members, when the funeral happened, they tell you that, hey, we're gonna take care of you until after the funeral. Now you find yourself being alone. He went to the university, to Vaal University, and just after 1 year of studying, they just say, oh, you've been financially excluded. No one is gonna pay that amount of money, and he has to go back home. He stayed alone quite, just like most of his lives. And he would actually tell me to just say that I want to have a family, because I grew up without having that. And he has a very beautiful young daughter. I think she's 4 years old right now.
Wow.
So like those challenges, right? Like as you grow and you just like learn to become a certain person. That even like when we're facing those things, at those challenges at Nova, you're already a certain person because you've went through a very tough times in life. Those entire experiences, you cannot change your mindset by yourself to say, oh, now I'm gonna be tough. I think like life makes you tough. And when you go through all of those things, once you reach a stage where now I'm homeless, you realize that I've already lost everything. I've already lost my future in education the moment they made a mistake with my results. He already lost his future in education when he lost funding, when he got academically excluded. Now I'm in Cape Town. I don't have any place to stay. I had nothing left to lose, right? Like everything is gone. I no longer have to worry about being attached to something to say, oh, I have to protect this. So it means that whatever happens next, it's gain. If I have no place to stay, I've lost my education. Everyone is probably laughing that, oh, there's this guy who's homeless. He was a genius, and now he doesn't have a place to stay. Like anything that's gonna come out of that situation to me is success. And it just happened that what we were doing, it's what we were doing, and that's what actually came out of that situation. You can't manually change your mindset. You have to go through something to become a certain person.
And in the articles that I read about, and as I followed you guys' journey, one of the things that I love is this camaraderie, right?
Yes.
Malungelo, you mentioned that you very shy and, not really comfortable. So Marvel is, I'm gonna be your voice. Yes. I love that, right? A lot of people don't have that.
It's a very great thing because like so many people that they don't actually know this, but Malungelo and I are two completely different people. And I think that's what we work is because we're not the same people doing the same thing, right? We are two different people doing two different things within our company. It's currently like mainly focusing on coding, and I'm just like focusing on the business aspect of things and how could we grow it and what should the product actually looks like. We are so different. When we actually started, to me again, it was about I just want to, be impactful on the education space as I could be. To him, it was, I want to build this thing for my daughter. And like, once you can find a partner that you understand your differences and you respect one another for that, I think you're going to do some great stuff.
No, I love that. Malungelo, if you had to say, why do you think you and Marvel work together? I'm curious to hear, like we've heard, I'm very curious to hear your side.
Okay, I'm gonna give a very weird example. But
that's the best one.
I think maybe it will match what maybe Marvel is saying here. So imagine a person has two legs, right? In order for you to balance, you have to, I know that some people don't have that, but if you're like that, you have two legs, you have to balance. So the way we do things is like, I'm balancing on the other side and Marvel is balancing on the other side. And it's not like we're not, everything that you see, the product that you see, we sit together, I know everything, we talk together. But in terms for the business to work, we really have to give one another chance to perform what they know best.
So I want to just talk a little bit before we get to the end here, around you guys' story. It's been now broadcasted. It's become a national headline, right? How much did it mean to you guys? As I understand, the story broke. There was some crowdfunding involved. Now you guys have Liberty in investing or backing you guys to push the app a little bit further. Speak to us a little bit about that moment when the story broke and the story started changing. Your experience started changing. Your life started changing.
Oh yeah, so like that week, I remember I just, like a Cool Story Brew actually hit me up and he said, hey, a lot of people are tagging me on your post just to tell me what's happening so I can actually, speak about it. So like at that time, I was actually homeless in Cape Town. So it was like, just like running out of money. I think it was a matter of weeks or maybe the next month, I thought the platform was just going to die. because we just had no money to keep on maintaining it. So I think like when people saw the story, it was a thing of, oh my God, these guys coded the platform themselves, and it's great, you know. But for us, it was a reflection of everything that we've actually experienced and been through. Even at that time, to be like, oh my God, we are gonna be saved. You know, like the platform is not going to die. It truly felt like a relief. And even after when the platform was going viral and people were being inspired by our story, I think I was homeless for the next week and a half. I did not even feel homeless anymore. You know, I was still sleeping when I was sleeping, but it was so different. I was very much excited. When, at around, during that, I think like Cool Story Brew posted a story on his Instagram at around 2 o'clock. Around 7, Amelia, who's now our mother actually, she called us and she said, hey, am I speaking to Marvel? And I said, yes. She said, this is Amelia from Liberty and Standard Bank. I was like, oh, Liberty and Standard Bank, you know, and I just like spoken with him over the phone, and she said, I want you guys to fly down to Johannesburg. She wanted us to fly down that week, but unfortunately there was a strike back at home, so Malungelo couldn't actually fly over. And I said, hey, I don't think Malungelo can come. And then she just said, okay, no problem, just tell me what you want and I'll try to sort you out. And then I said, oh, okay. And then she hanged up. So I called Malungelo, I said, hey, there's someone from Liberty and Standard Bank. You know, it was so exciting. Like, dude, like this is actually happening, right? We did not know what it was at the time or exactly what you know, the plan was, but just to have someone from Liberty and Standard Bank to reach up, right? To me, it felt like a breakthrough moment. But like, most importantly, even after, right? I thought when we came to Standard Bank, when we came to Liberty, I thought we're just gonna be like you know, having a corporate, very professional people, you know, running everything, and it's just friendly people, and you know, like that now are so close to us, like. Feels like family. You know, it was not like corporate people that are very wearing suits and, you know, like so strict. Just like people that actually cared about us. And like for so many days, I think they ask us how are we as individuals than how is Nova doing. You know,
brilliant.
When we actually like moved on to our apartments, they just to say, hey, I have something that I want to give you guys, you know, to make sure that, you know, you're moving in great. They call us each and every single minute to say, hey, are we just checking up? Are you guys still okay? You know, are you guys still doing incredible? And to me, it's something that I never thought would happen, because previously no one supported us or even believed on what we're doing. And now you find yourself in this situation that these people, they don't just believe on the platform. They believe on the person who's doing it. And like most importantly, they don't just say Nova is gonna be big. They just say you guys are very great. You know, they don't actually, and it changes how you view what Liberty was, because like, you know, like when you move past Bram, you see this very big building, is of professional people, and then you move inside, you realize that, oh, it's actually people that are like me with emotions and feelings that are actually running everything. So I don't think I would have prepared or ever thought that this is where or how far we could actually go. Currently, we're building as we say, the biggest e-learning platform on the entire planet. I think we're gonna launch next year. It's the biggest thing you would ever find.
Brilliant. Well, again, just to step back there a second, you get that phone call, right? Where Marvel is telling you, Liberty is calling us, Standard Bank is calling us. What's going through your head at that time?
It was a relief. Because when even now I'm trying to imagine that one bedroom that I was staying with a stove, the bed, we do everything inside that mini bedroom. So to me it was a relief to say, okay, finally some people are reaching out to us, because Marvel has stated to say we got a lot of I can say a disrespect from home. You know, if you are building something and the people that you think they're gonna support you and they don't support you, it becomes a very big problem for you. So, and I told Marvel, or we talk over the phone to say, we realize that people that support the vision are not people that are close to you. So to me, it was a relief to say, okay, what we're building, it means it's good. That's why people are reaching out to us. And I was very glad from that moment.
And then like to actually just our take on something, right? And this is something that like Liberty just like blew my mind, right? It was a thing of they reached out because of the platform, and then like in reverse, the support moved away from the platform to us as people. You know, that's something that's like always blowing my mind. Is it like how did you move from a situation where no one respects you to a situation where people actually care about you as a person?
Yeah.
Obviously, we mentioned now Liberty, getting involved,
Yes.
and the funding that comes with that. A lot of companies have programs where they support young entrepreneurs. What would you say to those companies that want to invest in young entrepreneurs like yourself?
I think like that is the best way to to grow our continent. Like we're coming from a country where, especially if you're coming from rural environments, where there's just no hope, and to just know that there's a company, if I actually solve a problem that matter and if I put in my work, I don't have to worry of where my parents have and what my parents don't have. There's a corporate, like Liberty, that's actually gonna not just care about what I'm doing, but also care about me as a person. I would say that they should, I don't think they understand what this actually means to young entrepreneurs like ourselves. It gives us so much hope. And not just ourselves, but also on our entire country. I just know like a lot of people that have brilliant ideas and they could actually execute it perfectly. Just knowing that they are corporate like that are doing what they're doing. I would just say, just keep on going. I just say keep on going. It's really incredible. It restores a lot of faith and hope to so many people.
And apart from funding, right? What else? If you had to say your experience, right?
Yeah.
Yes, funding is a very big part of it.
Yes.
Right? What else did you guys need from corporate companies?
I think like one thing I've realized when we were working with Liberty was there's so many things that I did not know that they actually make us know of it, right? So like no matter how smart you think you are and you think you're very great, there's so many loops that you don't actually know. So like when the corporate comes in with all the experience that they have and and all the expertise that they know what they're doing, right? And when they put you on their programs and connect you with people, you're gonna learn a lot. I think like I've learned a lot in the past 2 months than I've ever learned in my life, right? So it's you might actually think like, oh, what did I actually need? I just needed funding. I just thought like if I had funding, I've got
Everything would be
everything.
fine.
Exactly. Yeah. And then you get in and realize that now I no longer even have to worry about funding. Now I actually worry about the things that are actually exposing me to that I never thought like being involved with a corporate, you just like learn a lot of things. You learn a lot of things. Like I speak about like a little thing called like risk management.
Yeah.
Like when you're running a startup in your room,
You're not really thinking about it.
exactly, right? So
Yeah.
there's just like a lot of benefits that actually comes with, and it depends on what kind of a company you're pushing and what kind of impact you're having. So they're not gonna give you the same benefits and interest. It depends on what you're doing. But there's a lot of things that I could even never begin to actually like just mention in words.
Earlier in this interview, you mentioned your goal for Nova, right? You mentioned was to help up-and-coming communities, such as the one that you were a part of. Managala, you mentioned you wanted to build something for your daughter to be able to use, right? Mm-hmm. Now that you guys have gone through this journey, how has that changed? So what is your goal for Nova now?
So like before, right, we could only do what we can do with what we had. So like now if you have everything that you can actually need, to actually, push your dream into a reality, I think like the next thing is to just build the biggest e-learning platform on the entire continent and the world in large. And we're going to do that through collaboration, of course. I don't think you can actually do everything by yourself, especially in the world of education where you are having so many entities and companies that are working. I don't think we want to be a company that comes in and say, hey, we want to do everything by ourselves. So the network that Liberty has actually allows us to collaborate with different people and build a platform, not just for ourselves, but for the people that actually need it. We're not just here to just say, oh, we're the biggest and it's incredible, but we just want to build a space that I thought I would have needed when I was in high school. And that space is only possible if we also collaborate with other brands as well.
Malagala, what about you? Where did it go from building the app for your daughter to
Okay.
what do you feel like today?
Okay, I feel like what we are building, and just to look at the concept to say I was building the app for my daughter, is to say when we look back at home and we have unequal access to high quality education,
Yeah.
and when I look where we are going or what we've built now, I think my daughter is going to have a very high quality education.
Hopefully, like even other parents as well, that their kids, they're gonna,
It's a big concern.
Yeah.
It's a big concern.
Yeah.
No, brilliant. What message would you like viewers to take away from this episode? And is there any specific group of people that you'd like that message to go towards? Marvel?
No, like I wouldn't want to have any specific group of people. Just like everyone, if you just like have a dream and you think like you have what it takes to go ahead and do it, just do it. Again, it's not going to be as easy as you anticipate that it should be. But if you feel like there's something that's concerning you and you feel very strongly about it, you just have to go ahead and and do it. It doesn't have to make sense when you start. You don't have to have everything figured out when you start. It's okay to start with a mess. It's okay to start with an idea with no equipment. Just live the dream. Just go out jogging, dream about it. Just keep it alive, and over time, just like work towards it with anything that you have. Like again, if you want to learn how to code and you don't have a code, just download the coding app on your phone. You don't have to directly learn how to code an app. Just have something that's always connecting you with where you're going. And over time, everything will just start to come together. Just do it. Why not?
Love it. Malangelo?
Okay. It's a bit tricky, but the message that I will leave to the listeners is to say we are where we are today because of the struggle that we went through. So if maybe you are going through the same struggle, just know that there are people out there that made it.
I love that. Gents, I cannot tell you how much I enjoyed chatting with you guys, but more importantly, I just want to thank you guys for being a part of this podcast and for sharing your story. I can tell you I've been enjoying watching the story up until now, but I'm so excited to see where this journey takes you both. And I wish you the best of luck, everybody. On behalf of everybody from Chat EbT and the Chat EbT family, we wish you all the success, and we look forward to seeing what's coming next and the rest of the journey.
Well, thank you so much for having us and for giving us the platform.
No, my pleasure. All right, that's our show. Once again, I was so happy to have both these gentlemen on the podcast. I mentioned at the beginning of the episode, the real goal was to inspire, and I think today that's exactly what we did. We spoke about the journeys, the difficulties, failing once again, homelessness, but most importantly, we spoke about sacrifice and it not just being a 3-syllable word. Thank you once again for joining us on Chat EbT. My name is Mohamed Ebrahim Tayob, and we'll see you next time.